So much. All right, so let's get started because there's a lot of the one thing I kind of want to really touch on is what happened to the young man Daunte Wright in Minneapolis. I think it was this weekend. Police footage was just released about what happened to him. Apparently, it was started as a traffic stop. I heard two different stories. I don't know about you. I heard that it was first it was a he had expired tags, and then I heard he had air fresheners hanging in his rearview mirror, which is kind of crazy. I didn't know that was a law, but anyways, they pulled him over, and apparently while they were talking to him, there was a bit of a scuffle, and because they found out he had an outstanding warrant. So during the scuffle, apparently the police officer was saying taser, whatever. What came out was she was supposed to pull her taser, not her firearm, which is, I don't know what I will get into that, but I just kind of want to play what Megan McCain from The View responded to that because I love her. I know she's been getting a lot of flack lately for saying crazy stuff, but she really stated some facts. I just kind of want to give her some props.
Okay.
It is very hard for me in the realm of logic to understand how someone with 26 years of experience on the police force would be able to mix this up. If we can't have a police officer with 26 years of experience that doesn't understand the difference between the grip and drop safety on a Glock 17 and a taser, then we have more issues than I could even possibly conceive of when it comes to law enforcement.
I wish they were at our live show because after that statement, she would have got a standing ovation because she's speaking truth to power right there, So
Right.
Even if that wasn't enough, this weekend, police body cam footage was released about what happened to Lieutenant Caron Nazario. I believe that's how you say his name. He's Black and Latino. This happened in Virginia, and this police footage was released because he's filing a lawsuit against the Windsor Police Department because of what happened to him in the incident when he was pulled over. And I just kind of want to play a little bit of what happened because it was kind of graphic, but what they were saying to him was just kind of nasty. I just want to see your reaction.
You received an order. Obey it.
I'm honestly afraid to get out. Can I?
Yeah, you should be. Get out.
What?
Get out.
Get out the car.
Get out.
Hold on. Please, look. This is really messed up. My dog is in the back. My dog is choking right now.
Get out of the car.
So after that, it escalates. They pull him out of the car. He was beaten. He was taken in. They interrogated him. And then he was finally released. And he was also threatened not to say anything. So this is where this lawsuit really come from, and also as well as the beating he was received from these police officers, which I'm not surprised. This is an old story, but I just want to go to you, Dr. Palin. How are you feeling after these events and seeing this weekend? Because you're a very big advocate about criminal justice reform.
Yes, and I mean, this just only underscores how we have reached a boiling point. I mean, I keep saying we've reached a boiling point. I mean, now we're over the boiling point, these events. And all of this is happening. I don't want it to be that these are just cops, bad cops and doing this. They have been allowed to brew in this environment. We need to not just put the cops on trial. We need to put the judges and the prosecutors on trial. We make no mistake. The reason why we have reached this boiling point is because we've had judges and prosecutors tolerate cops' bad behavior, covering up for cops, bad cops, covering up for them lying on people in court and on police reports. And now we're at a point where and they're very smart because now the prosecutors and the judges, they're allowing everyone else to point the fingers at the cops, when in fact, we should be pointing them at three places in law enforcement: judges, prosecutors, and cops. So, they're just duping the public. As far as the first incident with Daunte Wright, here's my take on it. I believe that she knew she had the gun. Okay? And because if she had not known, then her body cam would have shown her saying, putting it up. But instead, she's just like, oh shit, I just shot him.
Right.
Like, it's not like, oh, I thought I had the taser. Because if she thought she had the taser, if she truly was using the taser, thinking she's using it, she's like, oh my, she would be, her first the words out of her mouth should be, oh my God, I thought I had the taser. I had the gun. Instead, she goes, oh shit, I shot him.
Well, she does say taser, taser, taser in the audio video. I did see that.
Right, but I even think, I think even more deeper than that. I truly believe that was also, she knew she had the gun when she was saying she had the taser. That's where I don't believe that was I believe that whole thing was, she knew the whole time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, when she was saying taser, 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 she knew she had the gun in her hand. That's not what I believe. And I mean, because that's not, because the way that she's reacting is, she should have said, oh my God, I thought it was my taser. No way, this is my gun, like that. Not, oh shit, I shot him. So that's that. I think that's, and this, what I heard was it was an expired tag. And this is just not, and I know that everybody, all the, especially the Republicans, they're all like going up in arms about him resisting arrest. But just imagine, he's 10 miles from George Floyd killing. If I'm a black man and 10 miles a cop stops me, I'm going to run away too. Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
mean, like this, let's just be like, let's bring humanity. This is what I hate about judges and prosecutors and cops. If the shoe is on the other foot, you know what I'm saying? They're going to be scared too. We just have a trial over this guy that got killed at the hands of cops. And here's this kid, 20 years old. He doesn't want to be stopped by the cops. I don't understand what's wrong with chasing him and doing those maneuvers that they do with the cars where they can, block him in or something like that and get him that way. Why do you got to shoot him?
Well, I mean, I can see the argument against it, but how do you feel about the Army lieutenant being
Also,
attacked
why
as
do you
well?
even have to taser him? What was the criteria? There's no reason to even taser him. Just chase him down. He's not hurting you. He doesn't have a weapon on him. You were just about to handcuff him. The other one that I feel, that's one thing about the Army, the military guy, is this. He filed his lawsuit in December. We're just hearing about this now. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's absolute, like, when I talk about how much of reform we need in our criminal justice system, when you see that and how that someone who's serving our country is being treated, it is so clear that it's now boiled over. The system has gotten so bad and so corrupt that it's boiling over to even the unlikely suspects. Do you see what I'm saying? So I think that, people that look like me become target. And this has been happening in the past 5-6 years. Like, people, it's not just because the system got so corrupt, it was targeting Black, people, and it was so corrupt, and now it's targeting even the unlikely suspects, and that he's one of them. They saw that he had a military uniform on him, even if it was minority, and they're still treating him like just, and that to me is fundamentally, that that fundamentally to me shows how little respect cops have for people.
Absolutely, because you know what? I'm just gonna wrap my response up in in some couple of points I wanted to make. In the Lieutenant Nazario case, it was stated that in the affidavit, the police officer said that he struck out at him. And I did see him, when they sprayed him, he did kind of push back a little bit, but who wouldn't? And I don't think that's absolutely battery, but they do that. And it's absolutely bizarre that,
and the judges believe them. That's the point. The next sentence is to be that prosecutors and judges believe them.
Well, no. First, I just want to just hit on this. First of all, it starts right here with these cops when they pulled him over. When I see someone come to my restaurant and they're wearing fatigues, I automatically believe them. And I'll ask for the ID, whatever. Why wasn't that happening? Because
Right.
absolutely, they are doing kind of the same job. They're protecting, this country. And I don't understand why that didn't happen. And also as well, I heard that in some footage you can see the tag that he had, because they said he didn't have a tag. You can see it in the footage, and the officer that was walking from behind the car, he had to have seen it. But I'm not surprised, because if we remember in World War II, after that happened, and Vietnam War, a lot of African Americans served in that war, and it was portrayed in Forrest Gump. they were treated
Yes.
just like that. My father told me, he's from Alabama. He told me that African Americans were hung in their fatigues, and it's fucking ridiculous. And I don't understand why. Because you know what? Here's the thing. Because I thought this was very perfect. Not that it was perfect, it happened to him, but I'm so glad this was released because it's kind of like the universe saying to the world and America, like, practice what you preach. How are we going to other countries telling them how to live? Yet we're over here saying we see Colin Kaepernick kneeling, and that was just too much for some of the alt-right. And they're saying, oh, you're disrespecting the military. And then this happens. I thought it was so perfect because this is absolutely why he was doing what he did, because that story, the Lieutenant Nazario story, I feel it's terrible, but that is not a new story. It isn't. And I mean, how long are we gonna how long are we going to just sit around and not do anything about it? Like, it's kind of bullshit. And also as well, what happened to Mr. Wright? Yeah, 26 years as a veteran, and you're telling me you can't tell the weight difference between a taser and a gun, a Glock 17. Like, I don't even own a gun, but it says that, you carry it on your hip in your dominant hand. I mean, we all play cops and robbers, and I feel like these cops are playing out here. They're playing cops and robbers and like fucking Halo, taking the law in their own hands. I thought that we were innocent until proven guilty. I just have a comment, just want to answer that. Jess says we can really judge how she acted at the moment. She's talking about the Mr. Wright case. Very code black tunnel vision, a huge failure in training, but it's clear she is in shock after the fact. I don't know if I would say that it was her intent to shoot and kill him. I can agree with that, but there has to be consequences because, as a citizen, if I accidentally shoot someone, I'm definitely going to be.
As in Florida, vehicular homicide is minimum mandatory, like 10 years. So
Absolutely.
like that's involuntary. That's involuntary manslaughter. She needs to at least be charged with involuntary manslaughter. She killed somebody.
Yep.
And the intent element really is not at issue here. That's why we have those statutes called involuntary manslaughter.
And it really kind of brings up the question of what you always talk about is qualified immunity with police officers. I don't think that it's not serving us anymore because President Nixon could have said the same thing if they ever prosecuted him. He tried to say the same thing almost, using executive privilege, when he was caught, in the Watergate scandal, which it just kind of makes me laugh when the whole thing with Donald Trump. We obviously owe Nixon an apology. Jess agrees with us. Oh, yeah, she should be going to jail. Yeah, no one disagrees with that. But I think I agree with her when there's something with the training. How can two cops cannot overpower a skinny young man? I mean, I know people are strong, but like I used to watch Charlie's Angels, and you remember in like the footage, the beginning. I don't mean to make a joke about this, but remember Kate Jackson? She's squaring off, and she does like the flip. What happened to that? Like I don't understand, but I hope something happens to this, and with her, I hope the investigation at least there's some consequences, criminal consequences, because we all.
It says the attorney general is going to make the charging decision tomorrow morning.
Oh, so we'll wait up for that, and I'll update this video. But let's move on to the next topic.
Just one last point about this, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
I just, no one talks about this, okay? Both of these scenarios, including the George Floyd scenario, demonstrate, and I mean categorically and unequivocally show how little respect cops have for people, for ordinary average citizens, how they judge and execute people before they're ever had a trial. Even if this Daunte Wright it was a misdemeanor warrant, even if that was valid, they have to treat it like that's just a warrant to come to court. It's like having a traffic ticket to come to court. You're not, judged guilty, but the way that they were treating him, including the woman who killed him, like it's almost like animalistic. It's almost like they're just like, and even more so in the other one with Nazario. I mean, just humiliating him, putting him on the ground on his knees, and nothing is being said about that. That is also part of their training that needs to be extracted. They need to treat people with respect.
Absolutely. Like, and then I just thought, like, it's a guy he's a military man. He's doing a lot more. They have a lot more dangerous job than we do and than they do. I agree. They both have dangerous job, but I would feel like you would have a certain level of respect. But they just saw a black man. Let's just be honest. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat this shit because just the way they treated him. Like, I mean, I think you would want, as a police officer, you think someone's dangerous. Why would they stop in a well-lit, BP? Oh, yeah, so we can ambush you. That does not make sense. Like, what training are we giving these people? And why are we putting so much money into it? They're driving tanks that can't even handle a damn gun. But let's move on to this really fast topic.